Good morning, friends of Wildland Fire. This is Darren Clayville, State Fire Meteorologist for South Dakota. This morning I'm just going to discuss our fire weather situation that we have upcoming. Today is Wednesday, September 7th, and I'll really discuss the fire weather through Friday, a little bit of an outlook going on through the weekend. So this will primarily cover Wednesday, September 7th and Thursday, September 8th, with some coverage going into Friday through the weekend. ERCs, look at those ERCs, 97th percentile and higher. Really for all of western South Dakota, we're getting to that point where our fuels are pretty crispy dry and are going to be very, very receptive to ignitions. We did see a big fire in west of Lander, Wyoming yesterday that had some pretty impressive fire behavior with very similar ERCs. If we do get an ignition, there is potential for large fire growth, especially if we get any wind behind it. Our observed 7-day precipitation from the past 7 days, really nothing to speak of. A couple of sprinkles in the southern hills and across northeastern South Dakota, but the name of the game is dry. And along with that dryness came a lot of heat. Heat plus dryness equals high evapotranspiration rates, which sucks the moisture out of the fuel. So very dry conditions across the landscape currently. Upper level water vapor imagery. This is our big upper level ridge. You may have heard yesterday, California setting some all-time records. That's big dome of hot air. That dome of hot air is progressing to the east and will impact western South Dakota both today and all of South Dakota tomorrow. So that is kind of the reasoning for the hot conditions. It was record-setting heat for the western part of the United States yesterday. I don't think it'll be record-setting heat for us today, namely because we have a lot of smoke in the air. There was a lot of big fires that kicked off a lot of smoke yesterday, and if you look up today across the state, you'll see a big, dense layer of smoke. So I'm going to go through some forecast imagery, but I don't think we're going to see those record-setting heat today just because we're not going to have the strong sunshine because of the smoke and those fires across the western United States. So forecast for today, anywhere from 185 to 102. Yes, I realize this says 103 in Rapid City. Again, I think the smoke layer is going to keep the temperatures lower than what the forecast models think. But minimum RH, maybe 8% across western South Dakota, all the way to 35% across eastern South Dakota. It's going to be mostly a south to southwest wind today. Southwest kind of across southwestern South Dakota and southerly winds elsewhere. Really in that 5 to 15 range, gusting maybe up to 20 miles per hour. And again, the smoke's going to throw a wrench in the overall forecast. Here's our minimum RH, again, 8% across western South Dakota, 35% maybe across eastern South Dakota. Wind gusts, not a lot of wind gusts. Again, it's mainly a south to southwesterly wind. But again, gusting maybe central South Dakota upwards towards 20 miles per hour, but nothing too strong today. Tomorrow's a different situation. We have a frontal boundary pushing through tomorrow, cold front. Highs are going to be somewhere in the order from 90 to 102, and it wouldn't surprise me across southeastern South Dakota if they might even get a little bit hotter than that, because the frontal position in this image right here is about there. That's about where our cold front is. And so, obviously conditions are much hotter just ahead of the cold front, and then they'll be cooling behind the cold front across western South Dakota as the day progresses. The other big thing about cold fronts, not only is the wind shift, not only is the heat an issue ahead of the cold front, but it's the wind shift. And so if we look at the winds, again, here's that frontal position. We're going to see southwesterly winds behind this, and this is at 4 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. And so the front's likely going to cross into northwestern South Dakota early in the morning, progress across the state throughout the day, arriving to this position here by 1600 hours Central Time tomorrow. But again, southwesterly winds ahead of the front, and then we get these northwesterly winds behind the front. And those northwesterly winds or northerly winds could get gusty. So we're expecting anywhere sustained winds from 10 to 20 miles per hour, both ahead of and behind the front, with gusts to 35 miles per hour. But again, recognize southwesterly winds ahead of the front, northwesterly winds behind the front. There is a fire weather watch in effect for nearly all of South Dakota tomorrow because of these increased fire weather conditions. It's going to be a little bit more critical. But if we do get initial attack tomorrow, be sure you watch that frontal passage. Know when the wind shift is going to be crossing your area. Wind gusts, again, maybe peaking up into the 25 to 30 mile an hour range across northwesterly and South Dakota, and that's going to be with a northwesterly wind after the front passes. Friday through the weekend. Friday, Post-frontal conditions, we're going to see rain and potentially widespread wetting rains. Wow, this is going to be impressive. But Friday, much, much cooler, maybe 40 degrees cooler in some places, 55 to 70 degrees. RH is near 50%, kind of a lighter northwest wind. Saturday, the rain's going to end from west to east throughout the state. Highs a little bit warmer, RH is a little bit lower. Sunday, slightly warmer temperatures, more near average. Highs are going to be from 75 to 82. Light and variable winds with min RH somewhere on the order of 18 to 35%. And critical fire weather conditions are not expected Friday through the weekend. Looking at our 7-day precipitation, again, this is the potential for precip across our area, anywhere from half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, to maybe even over an inch in some of the places in the Black Hills. But decent rains for much of western South Dakota. Eastern South Dakota misses out on a lot of it. The precipitation shown here is 7 days, but really this is all going to fall on Friday and Saturday. We're not expecting precipitation Sunday through the next week. So summary, hot and dry conditions both today and tomorrow. Very poor RH recovery overnight tonight, anywhere from 18 to 30% across the state. Our fine fuels are cured. They're ready to go. Our ERCs are above the 97th percentile, nearing records. Watch that frontal passage tomorrow. If you got questions, give me a call. You guys have a good one and stay safe out there.